Filmmakers today are constantly looking for new ways to stabilize their video. Whether that's steady cams, glide cams, gimbals, electronic stabilization, IBIS, or whatever you have on hand. But what if you could augment your existing stabilization setup to perform even better? Well, that's where the DIGITALFOTO Aries Z-axis comes in, adding a fourth axis to your existing gimbal setup to make it perform even better for vertical movement. So my initial impressions of the device seem pretty good. It's got pretty nice build quality, more than you would expect. A big positive, in my opinion, is the semi-modular design, allowing you to disassemble both the handles and centerpiece for easily stowing it away on run-and-gun shoots. There's not much to say feature-wise about a gimbal accessory. The actual handles themselves feel fairly grippy and sturdy. They also include threaded mounts on top of them. Unfortunately, the biggest drawback I think of something like this, and really you can't avoid it simply because that's the inherent design, is that it sort of takes away from the single-handed design nature of the Ronin S in my case. This means I can't rapidly use the joystick, I can't press the record button, I can't easily change modes. So before we go any further in the review, I actually want to talk about what this device actually does, because it's not inherently obvious as to why your existing stabilizer might need another stabilizer. But the short of it is that when you actually balance the camera on the gimbal, all of those movements are counteracted by the motors. Traditionally, all of the gimbals that are currently on the market are pretty much all three-axis ones: pan, tilt, and roll. Unfortunately, the fourth axis, the vertical movement, is not isolated, but when you're using these dual handles, the springs inside of them counteract that vertical movement, giving you much better stabilized video. So the actual prep and setup was super easy. All you really need to do is attach the center grip through the handle, attach the side handles via the slot-in screw mounts similar to a cold shoe mount, and then make sure you balance the tensile strength of the springs so that they're compensating for your vertical movement, making sure that they're not too tight or too loose, and then you're off. So as you can see from these tests here, it does make a really big difference in your vertical movement. Unfortunately, the biggest issue we ran into when you actually use it is that maybe because of our camera, maybe because it needs this offset plate to operate correctly on the Ronin, is that that translates into pan micro jitters. We had issues where it would kind of fluctuate left and right. And we just couldn't fix it, no matter what we tried. The biggest thing I would suggest that they could do in maybe a version 2 is to have some sort of increments when you adjust the tensile strength, because right now, kind of a guessing game of just feeling it out for your shooting style, and there's no real way to match the left side to the right side without kind of going back and forth and eyeballing it. If there were just some sort of markers that were like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on, like the Ronin has, for instance, on each one of its axes, that would be great. So full disclosure, DIGITALFOTO did send us this product, and ultimately in our test we did see a difference, but I don't think this is personally suitable for people who are doing rapid different types of shots in a run and gun scenario, such as event documentation or documentary style. But if you're doing something with more of a pre-planned shot list where you have 1 or 2 shots where you need a very strict form of stabilization, this is a great middle of the road option, and it adds that much extra level of stabilization if you're on a shoot, which might be the difference between an unusable shot and a usable shot. But we want to hear what you think of this product in particular, so feel free to hit up that comment selection with your thoughts on it. And until then, you can also follow us on all of our social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and more. And as always, if you want to see more videos like this, we want to hear your suggestions. So make sure to interact with us in the comment selection below or our social media outlets. And until then, you can see all of our other future videos by like, comment, and subscribing. But until then, we'll see you next time.